Hi, I'm Leslie Knox. I want to walk you through my capstone project from stone to story and show you how each piece I built led to the next and how it all shaped my final blueprint. The short version is this: Hubbard, Texas has a cemetery called Fairview, and it is full of stories that almost nobody can read anymore. I wanted to build something that teaches people how to read it. So let me show you how I got from that idea to a real plan. Everything started with the training needs analysis. When I sat down to write it, I had a rough idea about cemeteries, but the TNA forced me to get specific. It made me ask who exactly I was teaching, what they could not do yet, and what they would be able to do when I was finished. Working through it is what turned a vague idea into a real topic. Instead of just cemeteries in general, I landed on teaching people in Hubbard how to read the headstones at Fairview, even if they had no genealogy background and did not know a soul buried there. The TNA also pushed me to name a subject matter expert, and that changed how I thought about the whole thing. I could not be the only voice. The people who really know Fairview are the ones who have lived here for decades. Next came the FPI diagram, based on Merrill's first principles of instruction. If the TNA told me what the problem was, the FPI helped me figure out how to actually teach. It has 5 parts, and walking through them is what gave the course its shape. The task at the center is simple to say out loud. Document one real headstone at Fairview from start to finish and contribute it back so the story is not lost. Everything in the course points to that one task. To activate prior knowledge, I start by asking people about a cemetery they have already passed 100 times and what they have always wondered about the people buried there. Almost everyone has felt that little flicker of curiosity. That is the hook. I am not starting from zero. I am starting from something they already feel. The new knowledge comes from the experts and from my own research. I dug into what headstone symbols actually mean, how to read dates and epitaphs, how the layout of family plots tells you who belonged to whom, and how a name on a stone connects to records in places like billion graves and family search. Learners apply the skill in stages, with less help each time. First, they practice with prompts and quick feedback. Then they document a few stones with some coaching. Finally, they do one completely on their own, the full thing: photo, research, story, and a short audio recording in their own voice. And then it integrates into their lives in a way I really love. Their finished work gets published on our chamber website as part of a growing collection called Stones of Fairview. They are not doing homework that gets thrown away. They are adding to a record the whole community can use, and that keeps growing after they are done. When I built the hierarchical task analysis for Module 1, the thing that guided the order most was the learner's real experience, step by step, in the order it actually happens. I kept asking myself, what does a person literally do first? Then next? They find the page, they watch the video, they download the guide, they go to Fairview and walk the 6 stones, and only then do they reflect on what they saw. The reflection has to come last, because you cannot reflect on a visit you have not taken yet. That was the big realization. The order is not about what is convenient for me to explain. It is about the order the learner lives it. Once I followed the real sequence of the experience, the tasks and subtasks basically fell into place. By the time I got to the blueprint, it almost wrote itself, and that surprised me. Each document I had already built fed straight into it. The instructional problem came from the TNA. The frameworks and the experts came from the FPI work. The learning outcome was carried straight over from the TNA. The media assets and how they get delivered came from decisions I had already made along the way. The 2 videos on YouTube, the walking guide, and the Module 1 check on Google, all of it pulled together free on the Chamber website. And the assessment was the Module 1 check the learner completes after the visit. So the blueprint was not a fresh start. It was the place where everything I had built came together on one page. That is when I really understood that each step had been building the next the whole time. So that is from stone to story, from the first idea all the way to the blueprint. What started as a thought about a cemetery nobody reads and a new way to keep those stories from disappearing. I used several AI tools, Claude, ChatGPT, and Midjourney. The project and the choices behind it are my own. Thanks for watching.